Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us. Standing with me today is City Council Member Chris Cate, who's Chairman of the Economic Development and Intergovernmental Relations Committee of the City Council, and Jerry Sanders, who is President and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. Yesterday, as you know, Council President Gomez and I spoke with you about the unprecedented economic crisis caused by this unprecedented health crisis. And today, I'm following up on our decision to create a law that provides residential and commercial eviction relief with additional measures to help our local small businesses and the San Diego residents and families that they employ. San Diego businesses, by and large, are following the health orders that have been issued over the last several days. I greatly appreciate that. The compliance has been tremendous. Unfortunately, that means that most of our beloved establishments, from your local bar to your favorite restaurants, are suffering. Small businesses are the backbone of our San Diego economy. They make up 98% of all businesses in San Diego. Restaurants, salons, and any shop that interacts face-to-face with customers. They are all bearing a tremendous burden as they comply with these orders. We know that. So I want to really continue to help bring balance to this situation. So today I'm introducing the economic relief package for businesses impacted by COVID-19. The goal of the San Diego economic relief package is simple: help businesses stay afloat so they can keep paying their employees. This relief package includes roughly $4 million in grants and loans to support small businesses during this difficult time. And as part of this package, we will work with private companies and financial institutions to create a small business relief fund. This fund will help make microloans available to small businesses that are impacted by COVID-19. And to kickstart it, the city will put in money from its existing $2 million business revolving loan fund. This is going to be incredibly important for our small businesses. I want you to know that relief is on the way. The rest of this relief package includes the following elements: a tax certificate deferral program to make sure small businesses can delay payment of business tax certificates and fees for 120 days. This will include all the various fees that get tacked onto, like entertainment permits and assessments. Next up is our commercial utility deferral program to suspend water billing fees, remove penalties for late payments, and ensure there are no commercial account shutoffs. We've already taken action, as you know, to help everyday San Diegans with these same types of shutoffs. Now we're doing the same for local businesses. And for the businesses and industry who are unsure about development timelines, we're taking aggressive action. I am extending all building permits for 180 days. Usually, any discretionary items will be automatically closed in our systems after 90 days of inactivity. I will keep them open, and we will work with customers on a case-by-case basis. These measures are critical, and I've directed my team to work towards implementing them as soon as possible. No San Diegan should have to worry about the basics during this public health emergency. And the same goes for all of our small businesses. No business should have to worry about losing access to water or coming up with additional funds to pay fees. So I'd like to use this opportunity to call on San Diego's corporate partners to provide support in any way they can to help grow this fund. San Diego has always shown its generosity during times of crisis, and now is the time for us to do it again. For example, today I convened financial institutions from across the city by telephone to discuss the relief measures that our private sector partners are taking. Joining me on the call were representatives from Union Bank, Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America, US Bank, and Chase. I will tell you, I was very encouraged by these conversations and the steps that our local banks are already taking to help people and businesses in need. Our conversation focused primarily on small businesses and to take and support the steps that we are involved in. I will say to all of the financial institutions that are really bringing national resources to bear, thank you for your willingness to deploy those quickly in San Diego with the efforts that we are undertaking. This is exactly what we need right now. And so I encourage anyone in the private sector and wants to be able to help and grow this effort, please contact our City Economic Development Partner, Christina Bibler, at 619-236-6421. And I look forward to working with all of our San Diego partners in the coming days to build on this effort. We're going to create, I think, a very important, strong sense of momentum, and that's exactly what we need during these difficult economic times. Before I hand it over to Councilmember Kate, I also want to take this opportunity to give a few other additional updates. The city's Emergency Operations Center is activated to facilitate and deploy resources for our police and fire departments. I want to continue to thank Chief Dislight and Chief Stoll and everybody, all of our public safety personnel, for the great work that they continue to do day in and day out, keeping our city safe. The Fire Rescue Department has also activated its incident management team and is ready to address any issues that may arise. I also want to take this opportunity in this update, particularly thank all of our restaurants and our nightclubs and bars that have heeded the executive order I issued on Monday. The police department, as you know, has been out in the community educating people and businesses about that order, and we are grateful that everyone is compliant. We know this isn't easy, but at the same time, we're taking these preventative actions that really will help keep our members of our public healthy and safe. San Diegans are rising to the occasion, and I want you to hear from your mayor how incredibly proud I am of you. This is very difficult. It's not easy, but we are going to continue to get through this together, just like we have done in difficult times before. Lastly, in terms of my updates today, and we're happy to answer any questions here in a second, I spoke also this morning with Tijuana Mayor Arturo Gonzalez to discuss and learn some of the actions that they are taking in Tijuana. Took the opportunity to explain in detail all of the actions, all of the precautions that we are taking in San Diego, again, with the ability to work as one united front in our cross-border region. COVID-19 knows no boundaries, knows no border, so we must continue to work together to protect all of our residents. So, in conclusion, as we go down this market downturn, and we know that employment becomes a significant concern, supporting small businesses, supporting our families, it's going to remain to be at the top of our priority here at City Hall. And so now I'd like to invite up, as I said, Councilmember Chris Kate, who's not only the chair of the city's Economic Development and the Intergovernmental Relations Committee. He has a history, as I think many of you know, of working with financial institutions for the greater good. A lot of the conversations that we had this afternoon on the phone, including Chris's efforts to help our San Diego police officers secure homes with a very innovative mortgage program that we outlined a couple of months ago. My pleasure to introduce Councilmember Kate. Councilmember?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your leadership during this time. COVID-19 has and will continue to cause harm to our local employers and our employees. As chair of the city's Economic Development Committee and a former small business owner, I feel that it is an imperative that we as a city take a holistic approach to ensure there is minimal impact to our regional economy. It is critical that we begin to adopt various relief efforts to minimize the harm caused to the thousands of small businesses in our city. The economic relief package being proposed today by the mayor sends a clear message that we as a city are behind our small business owners and entrepreneurs. From the craft breweries in Miramar to the ramen shops in the Convoy District to manufacturing in Sereno Valley. District 6 businesses are suffering and the financial hardship is real. Over the past few days, I have heard personally from small businesses in District 6 and throughout the city that are struggling. They are struggling to make their next payroll and work through the maze of their insurance coverage. While the actions called upon by our health professionals to halt the spread of the virus are warranted, we can't oversee the impact of these decisions. For example, just yesterday, a brewery in my district informed me that they had to lay off 15 of their employees. This is an industry that has a $1 billion economic impact to our region, employing thousands, and they are not alone. Additionally, we must begin to advocate for relief efforts with others in our region on behalf of our small business owners, employees, and all elements of our economy in Sacramento and in Washington, D.C. I want to thank our partners like the Chamber of Commerce, the San Diego Regional Economic Development Corporation, and the Asian Business Association. I encourage our businesses to reach out to them with any questions that they may have. They are in constant communication with groups like the Small Business Administration and others to develop and advocate for resources to get through this. Moving forward, we will work closely with the Mayor's Office, our business community partners, and those at the state and federal level to ensure action is taken from their end to supplement the relief we are looking to provide here at the local level. This economic relief package is without a doubt a step in the right direction. It will protect both employees and employers, not only today, but tomorrow and days to come. We will continue to work to ensure our businesses have the tools they need to remain resilient during this period of uncertainty. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, Councilmember. As I mentioned yesterday, to have the full involvement and the engagement of every member of the City Council, it sends a strong and important message, and the reality that we are all working together as one city government, working in the best interests of San Diegans. Next and finally, I'd like to introduce, of course, our President and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, Jerry Sanders. I can't say enough about the quick action that our chamber has done to jump in over the last several days of all of the items that we are talking about. Jerry, thank you for your real leadership and helping businesses.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilmember. Our communities have been faced with massive change in the last few days and in the last week and days that we've been through this. Well, it'll be months before we know the true economic cost of COVID-19. Our businesses, both large or small, are having to make tough choices right now about their operations. These decisions have very real implications for the people that work for our businesses and the future of business in general. The relief package that the mayor and council member have outlined will help give our small businesses options and tools so that they can adopt a prepared mindset to focus on the health of their businesses and employees as we work to limit the spread of the virus as much as we can. We applaud the mayor's office for prioritizing our small businesses. This much-needed package of proposals is welcomed and important for our business resiliency. However, none of this should replace the importance of state and government engagement in providing the funding to help businesses recover over the long run. We know San Diego is a community of small businesses, so this is a time to rally around them, for our big companies to help where they can so that all businesses can get through this and recover. One of our business community's greatest strengths, and in fact, the region's greatest strength, is our commitment to collaboration. Working together for the good of all San Diegans, that's exactly what's going to get us through this, and together we'll be ready for what comes next.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you all. And now we'd be happy to answer any questions on today's update or any other issues. Question on how the landlords have been incredibly important. That's part of the questions on landlords. And I can tell you the response from our landlords and our apartment owners has been incredible over the last 24 hours. We are all in this together. And that's why these policies have to strike that fair balance. That's why we work so hard with our community, with our landlords and others, to give the families in San Diegans the relief, to give them the comfort and the peace of mind. And so I'm grateful for their participation. I really am.
Is there relief for the landlords, though, that they won't be getting rent for the next month or two?
Like I said, all of this in terms of the deferral and making sure that that is available. It's very clear. It's very consistent for all of our families across San Diego. And again, the partnership with our landlords to ensure that occurs has been one that I really value.
President Trump has been calling this the Chinese virus. It was discussed today during his address to the nation. Do you have anything to say to the Asian community here that might be experiencing discrimination because of the effects of COVID-19 and how we refer to it?
Well, look, it's important that as we work forward today, we're focusing on what we can do here locally. We're focusing on all of our communities. I mean, we're such a diverse, great city. Councilmember Kate and I were talking particularly about up in his district today with so many of our local restaurants up there, our Asian community restaurants. That's why this package is so important. That's why we're really focusing on what we can do to help directly as a city. That's going to be my focus, really direct, local help, and keeping focused on what we need to do in San Diego.
Two more questions from me. First, is there a way or any plans to enforce the social distancing suggestions of no more than 10 people that the president has talked about? And has any first responder tested positive?
Not at this point in terms of your question on first responders, but again, we are working closely with Chief Stoll and Chief Nislight. I have a daily briefing with all of them and other departments, all of our other critical departments. That's something we're going to track and keep an eye on every single day. The county came out with additional guidelines, as you know, just a little bit ago in terms of groups or 50 or more down to 10 or more. That goes countywide, City of San Diego and others. And again, I can't say enough how important it's been for us as a city working in consultation with our public health officials. We will continue to work together, follow those guidelines, and I can't stress enough to all San Diegans that these are here for a reason. Take them seriously. We are here to try to help make sure that we're doing everything we can to stop the spread of this disease as quickly as we can. So not just to treat these as things that you ought to do, treat these as things that you must do. And that's why these are so important, not just in the city, but for everybody throughout the county. That's why we're acting in one unified voice.
Mayor, could you just briefly go over the parameters of the economic package for us one more time, really hit home on how much funding is there and how much you eventually would like to see there, and then what businesses should do if they want?
Yeah, no, thank you. We're starting with seed money that's going to be about roughly $4 million. That is going to grow because we've already got some interest, as I said, from our financial institutions, and why we're making the call to other private sector businesses. I was so encouraged on the phone call today because people said, we know how important it is, not just to help relief for individuals, that's incredibly important, but we have to keep these small businesses afloat during these uncertain times. And so to be able to have these microloans available at zero interest is going to be, I think, incredibly important. And so we're going to start with that $4 million. We're going to grow that quickly, and we'll be releasing the details on that in the coming days of how small businesses can access that. Again, the idea is that we're moving immediately. We're moving now to give these small businesses and our families the help and the support that they need.
Just real quick, was that $2 million from the city included in the overall $4 million or on top?
Yes,
of
it
the $4
was.
million?
It was included.
Thank you.
Any other? Yes?
Yeah, just to also ask about that loan, is there a limit to how much businesses can receive? And is there a timeline if they'll have to pay it back?
We're going to work on all of those details in terms of limits, in terms of timelines. We're going to be putting that out within the next couple of days, and I think most importantly, how you can apply. And so all of that will be, as I said, in the coming days, but we want people to know it is on the way, it is coming, and we wanted to start with a number that is going to be significant and grow that to help people. Small businesses are making very difficult decisions right now, yesterday, today, in terms of employees. And so everything that we can do united for not only the city government, but our private sector partners is going to make a real difference and help some of those difficult decisions.
And just one other question. I know that you mentioned that you've been in conversations with the mayor in Tijuana. Can you elaborate a little bit about what those discussions have been? What are they doing over on that side? And also, has a conversation ramped up any more about any border closures in light of Canada closing earlier today?
Obviously, in terms of some of the border issues, the potential closures or not, those are happening on the federal level. Saw what happened, the announcement earlier today on Canada. What I really talked about with the mayor of Tijuana was really sharing, information sharing. We talk often. Our phone call today was dedicated specifically to COVID-19. Tijuana has moved forward on shutting down schools. Tijuana is moving forward on social distancing. I shared with the mayor how important I thought it was that that he really urged, and he's working on this, of course, locally, to join in the bars and restaurants and that social distancing as well. And so Tijuana's engagement is important. It's important because they're our next door neighbor. And so I really took the time to go through the policies that we're doing, how it's changing everyday life. But as I shared with the mayor, people understand, they comply, and it's for everyone's health and safety. He gets that, he understood that. They're working very closely with their Ministry of Health in Baja California. The more that we can act not only as one county, which we are, but as one binational region, that's incredibly important.
Are we prepared in the event of a border closure?
Look, as we also know, and the mayor and I talked about this as well, we're in unique times that we've never experienced. But we build upon that communication, we build upon that friendship, and build upon that relationship. Things are going to continue to change on the federal level, on the state level. It's incredibly important to me that we continue to act as one city and one county. The plans that we're talking about today, the economic plans and others, are important, and those safety precautions that I talked with the mayor of, I think the more that we have an established same safety precautions on both sides of the border is going to serve us well, not only for the short term, but the longer term.
Is there any measurement on the homeless population right now, and is there any plan or strategy for screening or testing on the streets?
Yeah, we're working very closely with our county health, public health officials. County mentioned that in their press conference earlier. We have a very specific outreach plan, not only at our bridge shelters, where we have our public health nurses that are doing the screening, but also on our outreach, our foot outreach teams, with one goal: how are we providing education? How are we providing screenings, looking for symptoms, and now with the ability to help transport folks to hotel rooms that may be experiencing some of those symptoms. That's what we want. We want to get people out of a group setting. Look, our bridge shelters provide life-saving work every day, every night. I can't say enough about our partners, whether it's Alpha Project, Veterans Village, St. Vincent de Paul, how closely that we work together, PATH. And so having clear parameters, which we have, clear guidelines and protocols, we're preparing for continued community spread everywhere. And so making sure that we're really protecting those that are most vulnerable, and particularly with a specific focus on those in our bridge shelters that are elderly, having the ability to separate them and to provide for that with our hotel rooms, I think is going to be a game changer. We're going to continue to work very closely with the County of San Diego. The planning and the preparation that has gone into this literally over the last week has been astounding. It's been the right thing to do, again, with one goal: how are we going to help take care of some of the folks that have some of the greatest health issues that we're all concerned about. With that, thank you. That will conclude today's briefing. Again, I want to thank Councilmember Kate, Jerry Sanders, all of our business committee. We'll continue to give you updates on a daily basis. Thank you all.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, sir.